Today, the feds came knocking on Rudy Giuliani's door. FBI agents executing search warrants at Giuliani's apartment and law office in Manhattan, seizing his computers and electronics. A source close to Giuliani tells us the feds were at the apartment about 45 minutes, escorted up by the building's doorman. According to this source, Giuliani says he also turned over 2 laptops, 2 cell phones, and 2 iPads that he claimed were not working. It's a clear sign that the former president's personal attorney could be in serious legal jeopardy, and that federal investigators are ramping up their probe of Giuliani's dealings with Ukraine. Giuliani's attorney released a statement just a short time ago denying that his client did anything wrong. He writes in part, Mr. Giuliani respects the law and he can demonstrate that his conduct as a lawyer and a citizen was absolutely legal and ethical. Josh Gerstein is a senior legal affairs reporter for Politico. Josh, thanks. This investigation's been going on since 2019. There's a reason for this delay, right?
Yeah, I mean, some of this is just investigative work, Shep, but you're correct that there appears to have been a power struggle of some sort going on within the Justice Department and between prosecutors in New York and folks in Washington, management of the Justice Department under the Trump administration about how aggressively to go after Giuliani. You know, they filed a case back in 2019 against 2 close associates of Giuliani, a criminal case. And this shoe certainly took a very, very long time to drop.
You know, a lot of shady characters here, Josh, involved with this story. Some already charged with campaign finance violation, others sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury. And here they are, all of Rudy's men, including Lev and Igor, about whom we've heard so much. What are the feds looking at exactly?
Well, we know that with those 2 men, they're looking at these campaign finance and fraud issues. But, you know, the initial indictment in this case in 2019 suggested that this whole scheme had something to do with trying to influence the U.S. government, trying to cause the firing of the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, and that Giuliani was in the middle of that. He was not mentioned by name in that indictment, but that was certainly an effort that he was deeply involved in, along with 2 of the folks who were charged criminally. So we think that prosecutors are exploring that. There might be exposure about whether Giuliani was acting as an agent of a foreign government or on behalf of foreign businessmen in his efforts to influence the U.S. government, which is not illegal. But if he was doing that, he's supposed to register with the Justice Department.
We heard the former president say, I mean, we all heard it. We heard him say, on this matter of Ukraine, speak to Rudy Giuliani. He's my guy on this. Does this investigation open up the former president to any legal trouble potentially, or no?
Well, it does open up the possibility of investigation looking directly at the president's activities. But I think the way that's most likely to come up, Shep, is if there are charges against Mr. Giuliani, his defense is going to be that he was doing these things at the request of the president of the United States, and that therefore it wasn't really an effort to influence the U.S. government.
Right.
This was sort of informal activity on behalf of the U.S. government, and therefore there's no way Giuliani is criminally liable for it. That's the direction I expect him to go if charges are filed.
The feds targeted another lawyer who's part of all of this, or that's the allegation, Victoria Tunzing, and Joe DeGeneva, her husband, was not mentioned here. But it looks as if, you know, they normally try to get somebody to sing, and you wonder if that process is underway.
Right. I mean, surely they've been trying to get cooperation from and statements out of the people who are already charged. We should note that Victoria Tunzing, her law firm, said she was told she is not a target of this investigation. Kind of interesting. We haven't heard that from Mr. Giuliani's lawyer, that he got that kind of assurance.
Yeah, you'd think that would be the sort of thing they might mention. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.